Sorry, I started recording this, and as soon as I hit record, Juliana messaged me. Uh, on the channel we do we're our miscellaneous Mondays, and that works, and I like that, and we're definitely going to keep doing that, especially the states of the channel. Those are important because that's us talking to you guys on the channel, because I don't anticipate this being really... I anticipate the channel being, or I hope the channel is more popular than this side of things, but I've recently become really inspired to kind of do a sort of vlog thing. That's why this channel exists. I'm bored as at home, and I feel like I need to give myself something to do, but still keep myself creative, if that makes sense at all. But mostly I just, I'm, like I said, I'm bored, so I want things to do. And I realized that a good way to give myself something to do would be daily vlogging, or at least somewhat daily vlogging, or several times a week vlogging, if that makes sense. You'll notice that we don't have the baffle and the whole to-do going on right now in the background. This is just me in the studio talking to a camera. You can kind of see here our schedule. Juliana put that together. It's a whiteboard that we found. We live very close to a local fire department, and we were going for a walk one day, and there was a sign. There was this whiteboard that had drawn on it, free, take me too. And there was a bunch of other stuff. There was like an office chair that was worse than either of the ones that we have, and there was like a bookshelf, a little teeny tiny bookshelf thing, but we're like, we don't want either of those, but we want this giant, really nice 4x4 whiteboard here. So we decided to do that. And it works. Juliana made the different squares and the grids out of washi tape. We already had a little teeny tiny single month whiteboard that we were using as a calendar, but we were realizing that we weren't really able to do a lot with that. I mean, we were only able to do a month at a time, but this gives us 4 months out. We just got this up like 2 days ago. So we plan on having the previous month, the current month, the next month, and then 2 months out, so we have a really good idea of what our schedule is. And, we record all of our videos for the month, or once a month. So we've recorded everything through the end of September. And then I take a week. So on the... what was the day? Sorry, one sec, pulling up my computer. So on the 22nd, last Saturday, we recorded all of our videos for all of our Let's Play videos for the month of August. We recorded through the month of August, and I've been spending off and on, a good chunk of the last week editing those videos. I'll be right back. But yeah, it's just kind of a quick little behind the scenes. Let's get into the reason why I've decided to start daily or semi-daily, regularly vlogging what's going on. Is Julianne and I are just recently started looking into cameras, different cameras to improve, because right now we're just using a little Logitech C920, which is great, and it gets the job done. I mean, the quality isn't terrible, especially since we figured out how to make it 1080p and all of that, but it's... shit. Man, I am not happy about that. Can I move this? I'm not happy about that. Weather sucks. I hate the weather. Fuck the Daystar. That is what I always say. But anyway, so Julianne and I were looking for new cameras, and we were looking at Canons and Sonys and Nikons, and I already have a Canon EOS Rebel T5, and it's a great camera, but it is an older model. It's a much older model, so it doesn't have the capability. It has a limiter on it, so it'll only record 4 gigabytes worth of video, and 1080p video. 10 gigabytes or 4 gigabytes is about 10 minutes. At least with that, because at least with this specific camera. So we tried using it, and again, we only got fucking 10 minutes out of it. It didn't keep recording, it just stops. So we started looking into potential other options. And in looking at that, we found a couple, like we found a really good actual camera review YouTube channel that we both really liked, and the guy just gives fantastic. It was just a fantastic video that we found, and he talks about like different, like sometimes he does comparisons between 2 cameras, and there were specifically 2 cameras that we were looking at that we wanted to do, or that we potentially wanted to use, but we couldn't quite decide which one we wanted to use. And those cameras were the Sony Alpha A6300 and the Canon 80D. And we took everything we needed to do into consideration. Like, I myself am a photographer. I have always been a photographer. I've always done photography. Like, I've just had an eye for it. I've done film, I've done digital. It's just something that I've always enjoyed doing. And Juliana and my parents went in a couple years ago for my birthday and got me the Canon T5 that I have. And not gonna lie, I wept. I was so happy to have that. To have a decent, full-sized DSLR, not broken camera, because the last camera that I had got sat on by somebody and the back screen broke, and it wasn't what I wanted. It stopped filling the need that I felt I had. So I got this DSLR, it's a digital single lens reflex, and I have actual optics now. I have actual lenses. So that was part of why I personally was leaning toward getting the 80D over the A6300. Like, the A6300 would be nice because it's 4K video, and Sony makes great cameras. Don't get me wrong. Sony makes fantastic cameras. But it didn't exactly do what we needed it to. And then further digging and further going along and doing more research into it and actually looking at trying to find some big name successful daily vloggers, I ran across well, first I should honestly give a shout out to the first guy we found. His channel is Kai W. He does camera reviews. He used to be part of Digital Rev TV, and then they separated. Yeah, he just does super comprehensive stuff that I found was really helpful, and Juliana agreed. We both got a lot of good information on it, and he did a direct comparison between the 80D and the A6300. Like, he had them mounted on the same tripod, taking the same shots at the same time. Like, the dude, wow. I was blown away by that review and that comparison, and to see the two differences. And he explained that for, I guess, more serious vlogging, For a little more serious vlogging, it worked. The 80D was better, but for fun, point and shoot type stuff, the A6300 was better. And I'm inclined to agree. I found a website that directly compared the two. The 80D has better camera life or battery life. The 6300, just the 80D fits our use case better. And then as I was continuing to dive down and do a little more research, I ran across, and I mean, it's not like I just heard about him, but I ran across Casey Neistat. And I'm sure a lot of you know that. I mean, he's one of the biggest vloggers out there. And the only way I can describe it is I was hypnotized. I started watching a lot of his content just nonstop. Like, I just watched one video after the next, after the next, after the next. And I couldn't figure out why. I was just mesmerized. And then I actually watched a video of his that was, like, how to make a good vlog. Or, first I should start by saying, is Juliana home? Or is the cat being weird? Juliana's home. One second. Juliana's home. I completely lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Hi,
guys.
I was talking about Casey Neistat and his thing. He posted a video, what's the best vlogging camera? And the camera that he'd been using for years, especially when he was daily vlogging, was the Canon 80D. And that was kind of what, nail in the coffin for me. And, he talked about how he had, 11 of those. And I was like, yeah, I'm sold. Right?
A little bit.
It was kind of how we went.
Yeah.
Especially with the other guy.
Well, yeah, there were a couple of sources, so I was kind of torn between that or the Sony, just for the ability to record in 4K.
Yeah, and recording in 4K is great, but it's not wholly... You can stand as mine. Okay. It's not wholly necessary. And, it will get there. But later. And that's okay.
Yeah. But that's a later purchase, though.
Exactly. No, it's down the line. We got to save money. But it's still...
Kinda, yeah.
It's still an option.
Yeah.
I was also talking about another video that Casey made. He did one that, described kind of how he does his vlogs, and I can only imagine why his vlogs and his channel is so successful is just the way he does it. Is he takes a more cinematic approach to it, and honestly, that's kind of what inspired me to make this channel and to do more sort of daily or semi-daily vloggy things. And
things we learn, apparently.
Things we learned, yeah. No, she's just finding out about this. I figured I'd get this done before she got home, but I was incorrect.
Yeah, and plus with me doing roller derby,
exactly.
I also want to have footage of that so that I can learn from my have actual video of me skating and go, oh, that's where I'm effing up, and I know exactly how that feels. So.
Exactly, and I figured this daily vlog thing would be an outlet for her to have more roller derby stuff without limiting it to once a month.
Yeah,
she can put stuff out there more regularly, and that's most of it. That's I figured she'd be on board with it. I hope you're on board with it.
With daily vlogging.
Not daily vlogging, but
no, more consistent vlogging. Plus, it will make me actually stick to my training regimen, which I've been off of this week, which sucks. But I honestly have not been feeling well, so.
And that matters because self-care is important.
Right, and I mean, I could have pushed through and done it, but I was also like, all right, I also have a lot of stuff coming up this weekend, and I was afraid if I pushed myself to do it, then our social obligations this weekend would not be met.
Exactly, and we do have some social obligations coming up this weekend, and that's fine. And we'll.
And
we'll
I also was kind of pushing it off. I'll be completely honest. I have a chiropractor's appointment tomorrow, so it's also important for me to not really try and do a ton of stuff where I'm not
properly aligned.
And that way I'm not like, there will be like muscular imbalance and like just from the way that the sport is, I will end up being, my left side is going to end up being stronger because, at least my left leg, because I make left turns a lot. So this will be my stabilizing leg, which it already is, which is good, but it's also like, oh, so I'm further complicating my life.
Right.
So, yeah, despite being right-handed, I am in fact left-footed. It's great, guys. It's great.
Yeah. As I was... Back to the Casey Neistat thing, not to take away from her, but to the Casey Neistat thing. He said that he takes a more cinematic approach to his vlogs, which I really like, and honestly, that really inspired me. And I'll probably try to emulate that a little bit and take a few pages out of his book, but I'm still gonna throw my own flair.
He's gonna still be him.
Yes, I'm still gonna be me. I'm not gonna be like, I'm Casey Neistat. I'm not gonna do the sunglasses thing.
And there's a video out already.
Yeah, fucking.
So yeah,
go.
Go.
Google it. But yeah, it's something that really personally inspired me, and I figure it'd be a good way to
expand.
Force myself to be creative. And that's something that I need, because I feel like even though I've got the channel and I'm having fun with editing, or even though we're doing it wrong, and I have fun with editing and I do some fun motherfuckers. But basically, it's a way for me to get more creative and force myself to be creative, and just do more stuff, I guess, or just.
It's forcing him to put himself out there more, which he hasn't been doing recently. So it's going to force him to expand his repertoire.
Exactly.
And kind of artificially simulate new challenges.
Yes. So like I said, the very early bits of this channel will probably be inspired by, and the whole channel itself will be inspired by Casey Neistat. But like I said, I am going to put my own flair on it, and I hope that actually comes through, and I hope I'm actually able to more fully discover myself. So Julianne and I are headed out to a game night tonight, meeting some friends. It's just in a nice little part of town, nice little local place.
Yeah, we really like this place. We like to support them. And they've been really
great.
Us,
it's because it's a board game shop, and it's a board game night. So it's there's a real big one. Ooh, backlight. But it's really nice, and there's a really nice big one. But we prefer the intimacy of this smaller one, honestly.
Well, because they kind of know our names. And,
yeah. Well, they at least recognize our face, and that's the important part.
And so,
Somebody short was driving.
Yeah, somebody short was driving. So for us, it's also it's not as anxiety producing because they also have this big magic night at the big place, and there are hundreds of players. And honestly, after a week of work, I don't want to deal with people.
I don't got time for that shit.
So, the friends we're meeting, one of them is one of my coworkers, and awesome person.
What?
Ew.
What?
I'm glad you're taking this seriously.
Yes. So we just got to where we're going.
We're
mostly. We've parked the car for where we're going. It's just up the block here.
Yeah.
But, framing.
Huh?
Light!
I know, there's so much light.
Yeah. You'll have to pardon my framing, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we're doing this.
yeah, we're new. But hey, you got to start somewhere, right? So, oh, we're crossing here. Okay. So yeah, this is part of where we're at, part of the town we live in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we mentioned that we live in Portland.
Portland, yeah.
Not specifically where, but I mean, if you're from Portland, you should
know some of these things.
You might be able to recognize where we're at by some of the places we're walking by. I can't quite promise you that, but hey, that's your problem.
Yeah, no. This is probably one of my favorite parts of town, honestly, and
it is, yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite parts of town, too. You might be able to recognize that.
But, yeah. If I could afford a house here.
Oh, sweet Jesus. That'd be awesome. But that'll be...
That's assuming I could afford a house in anywhere in Portland proper, ever.
Yeah, right. Instead of all of the outskirts and everything.
Yeah, so, yeah, no.
But hey, just like everything, you gotta start somewhere. And that's what matters. And we have, in fact, started.
Yes. Yes. So, we're coming up to our place. It's still a little further up. But
yeah, we still got another block or so.
Yeah.
Might stop in for food somewhere, but...
Yeah, maybe.
At least for me, because I'm starving.
So yeah, we're meeting with some friends, and...
I'm not sure if they're here yet.
Yeah.
But we are
close. So they said they'd be here between like 7 and 7:30. So, all good.
Yep. And if they are late, it might give us a little more time to eat.
Yeah.
So into a little food cart called Bent Whisker. I've never been there before, but if you've been to Portland, or if you know Portland or are from Portland,
or are aware of anything,
anything related to Portland in the food scene, you know that if you're in Portland,
you have to eat at a food cart.
You have to eat at a food cart at least once, and
it isn't a food cart pod.
That's a small one.
It is a small pod, but it's still a pod.
But that's why. Just look at that. That's fucking gorgeous.
How does it taste gorgeous?
Well, that's the fun part. Let's find out. Nice and greasy. Oh boy. Oh my god.
It's him having a religious experience.
A little bit. So I kind of wanted to start this out right, more or less, and I wanted to sort of christen the channel in a way that I feel is appropriate and with something that's been sort of inspiring to me personally. And I know it sounds dumb, and I know a lot of people have fun with it, and a lot of people make jokes about it, but that way is with InspiroBot. So I'm gonna generate an InspiroBot quote here, and that's how we're gonna try and set the tone for this channel. I really hope it's not something fucking dumb, but with some of the ones I've gotten recently, I think it's gonna be a good one. So
good luck.
Let's see. If you're angry at the intercourse, you're not enjoying the intercourse. That's a good one. That's a good way to go.